Harold, what's up, my friend?
How are you?
Long time no talk. I hope you've been well.
Yeah, it was well. What about you?
I've been good. I mean, it's been about 3 years since we spoke. We spoke in 2020.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that
Yeah.
you are an actor, my friend. I am looking at a legitimate, excellent actor. So I'm glad you're back again.
Thank you very much for inviting me again to talk with you. I remembered pretty well that talking that we did
Yeah,
3 years ago.
we had a
Was
great
was pretty good.
conversation. Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
great
I got it.
conversation. Yeah. And it's funny because like the more time that went by, I'm like, oh my God, Harold's in this, he's in that, he's in this. Like I feel like, do you feel like people have not finally, but do you feel like the older you're getting, the more projects that people are finally starting to notice? I mean, you're not going to say you're talented. I'll say it for you. Notice how much work you've put in. Notice how talented you are. Do you feel like it's starting to pay off for you?
I don't know. I don't know. I think the way that these the movies works is pretty complicated, like
Yeah.
because I try to do whatever I feels is the best for me as an actor, not thinking to be notorious or not with the audience or whatever. And the problem is sometimes that kind of movies don't have the same publicity or whatever to be watched by the audience. And I think that's what's happened with my career. But I'm not rushed about what's going to happen with my career. I am trying to be a better actor, and that's my goal. Like I understand completely that maybe if I will be more notorious with public, maybe I will have more opportunities to work in different projects. But that's something that maybe gonna works or not. But I don't try to put a lot of attention in that line, my friend.
Yeah, but I feel like we'll just take like Silent Night, right? Like there's no way somebody didn't see 000 and say, "Oh my god, like this guy, he's got it. Like he's perfect for us." Like I feel like your body of work slowly but surely is turning heads, I think, with people that do make movies, producers or casting directors or whomever. I think, I mean, that's just me saying that, and I hear what you're saying as well. It's a lot more complicated than just somebody noticing you, but I do feel like your body of work is turning heads the older you get.
Well, I hope that, my friend. I hope
Yeah,
that kind of people saw my work will be amazing for me. And I think
yeah,
it's happening a little bit, yes, of course.
yeah. The crazy thing about you, Harold, and I've interviewed, I want to say close to 450, 500 people now. The transformation, like you're the
Well,
nicest guy, like just speaking in our conversation today, like you're the nicest guy, like I think I've ever spoken with. Like you're so kind, even like setting up the interview, you're so gracious, you're so wonderful. And then you
thank
have
you.
these insane characters like in 000 and most recently in Silent Night Playa. Oh my god, you play the most diabolical evil characters that couldn't be further from who you really are. I think that's a testament to your acting, man. I swear it's the biggest transformation of an actor, your work, that I think I've ever seen. I think it's amazing how you do it.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
How did you like Silent Night? How did you I mean, so how was it for you, right? So I think the big talk was Silent Night, maybe for those who haven't seen it yet. It's a very, very unique movie, right? In this for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons, but in the sense that no dialogue, really. I mean, there's a radio in the background or maybe a TV or something, but there's nothing really. But the fact that there's no dialogue, Harold, what did you like about that? What were the challenges? Because that's a really, really unique situation. That's something you never see outside of the silent movies in like the 20s or something. Like you never see that anymore.
Yeah, but even that silent movies from the past in white and black and white have
The word,
some words,
yes,
like
yes, you're right.
and yeah, but I don't know. Was a big challenge, and well, I was thinking a lot how to create this character without dialogues, how to show the violence inside of him, how to show the frustration, the angry, and everything. And I remember that sometimes I wanted to scream but as a necessity of my character, but was pretty well controlled by Mr. Gu, and I didn't scream in the movie. But I was always thinking how I can show what is the point of this character in the movie, and it was a big challenge. And we resolved everything with the director, with Mr. Gu, and everything that was happening in the scenes. I think was the most important thing is was listening to the others, and to try to understand exactly what was about the main topic of the scene, and in that way to go inside. But was pretty difficult. I remember that I worked in different movies when my characters don't talk too much, but here the trouble is anybody talks anything. So that was difficult to go inside in every rehearsal, and in every shot. But was amazing to be part of this. I feel pretty honored to be part of a movie from by directed by John Gu, and to be with Joel and Catalina was amazing for me, because I saw the movies from them, and I was like, wow, they did excellent work before. And I was a fan, of course, of Catalina, and as a Latin American actor, female. But about Jungkook, I was a fan since a lot of years ago.
Yeah, that's well said. One of the things you said that now you say it, I'm starting to think you're right. Like even in 000, your character, it's yeah, when he uses the words, people listen, but it's when he doesn't talk, like it's frightening as well, right? And that's kind of your character here, right? Doesn't use words, but even like the stillness and just like what you're doing when you're not talking, sometimes can be as scary as like cursing or going off or being angry, right? So that's kind of the challenge with this, Harold.
Yeah. And I think my work is to have many things in my mind as a character when I don't say anything. But here was the trouble was like like everybody is thinking something in their minds, and
Right.
how this thinking gonna be together in the same direction with the other actors is more difficult. And so for me it was pretty important to be inside of these scenes, um, trying to find the better way to be present in that action scenes.
Yeah, and for those listening or watching, Harold's talking about the legendary director John Woo. Harold, do you know why John decided to go with the no dialogue? Did he tell you? I purposely did not research this, so I didn't want to have like the answer and then ask you. I genuinely I wanted to ask you like, why did John decide to go with no dialogue in this? Did he talk to the cast about it? Did he explain why he wanted to come from this perspective?
He didn't told me why,
Yeah,
but yeah. I think thinking about the stylish of films of Mr. Gu, I'm thinking all the time like it's like a pretty important all the images and the way that he controlled the motion, the time in his movies, how he can relent or slow or faster in some scenes, the time. And for me was pretty important. This movie is so visual in many ways, but I think he was the more he was the guy that could do this kind of movie
right.
without dialogues, like action movie without dialogues, and with a lot of importance in the images, and the how the style of Mr. Wu is, I think, was the best option to do this movie. Well, he never explained to me why he decided, but and something in the way that he works, give me the chance to try to understand a little bit more why he decided. I'm not so sure why, but I think was a pretty big important risk as a director as him doing right now. Like after many years working in the movies, uh, this risk was a lot of challenging, not just for the actors but for everybody. And I think was a pretty important risk to see a movie in these times in that way. I think is pretty important.
Yeah, a cool and a really cool drop right around Christmas time. A movie that with no dialogue, like really clever, like really fun. You know, it's a fun movie. But just looking at your character, Harold, I have him up top. I mean, Playa is just terrifying. Like he doesn't even have to say a word. Like the makeup, your makeup in that, it is scary as hell. Like I'm looking at that now. I mean, holy shit, Harold, you are a terrifying actor when you want to be. Good lord, holy cow.
Well, playa. Well, the first thing is like all the people, the production designer and the makeup artist and everybody, and the costume designer had an ideas about how the character could be in this movie, and they had the decision that he gonna have a tattoo in his face and everything. But we talk a lot about. Who no, where they're gonna have more tattoos, and we spend a lot of time doing this tattoo to check what is the best to take, like we did a lot of tests about what is the best for the character. And even we can see in your photo here, when the photo that you had here, like the Santa Claus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and bath and every that kind of things. We did a lot of testing to try to find the style of this character. I try to be a little bit far away from the normal gang that we think about it with, like the California kind of gang. And we have something a little bit different that I'm pretty happy about it. And I think the style of the character is pretty important in this movie. I think the style of all the characters, the way that they use the costumes and the makeup is pretty important. And we worked pretty hard, and the people that worked before that I arrived to the movie and do a lot of job to put this kind of character in there, because I don't have many elements, just my images, just the image of my character to do my work. So that was pretty important to do before we're gonna go inside of the set. And yeah, and something happens when you've been shaved and with a tattoo in your head.
No, especially
Even was pretty weird, because I all the time when I come back to my, well, we try to don't clean up every day.
right.
So but when I come back to my home, I was with glasses and with a hat, you just to don't scare my neighbors. you know uh,
That would be great if they just let you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, like I said to you, I don't want to sound repetitive, but the transformation, and I get everyone's like, well, that's what actors do. I don't know. The way you do it is something very, very special. You mentioned Catalina earlier, Sandino. For those listening, Sandino Marino. She's been on the podcast before. For those listening, she's an Academy Award nominee. She's a
yeah.
marvelous, marvelous actor.
She's amazing, and in this
Yeah,
movie she's amazing. The way that she shows the suffer, the sadness and everything is, and without saying any words, is beautiful. She's so talented. And the couple that she did with Joel is amazing.
yeah,
I listened Mr. Wu talking about the movie, and all the time he says, like, it's not just an action movie. It's a movie about a character that lost a child, and after that he want to do that. What people normally try to do is like try to revenge about this lost, and is a character inside of Sad, and the couple is inside of Sad, and sadness, and I think the work that they do together is amazing. All the scenes that they had, and were pretty strong. And yes, and Catalina as a Mexican actor, I think I'm fan of her from a long time ago. Even I had a her movie and from Colombian movie that she did a long time ago in a DVD or something near
Yeah.
in my collection of movies.
Yeah. Is it a lot harder as an actor, Harold, without the dialogue? Is it a lot harder to perform? And you mentioned, getting the look right. You talk about emotions with Catalina, showing emotions. Is it a lot harder when you do? Because I feel like with dialogue, you can always lean back on dialogue. You can always kind of just pump that right at somebody, whether it's sadness. But when it's just emotion, I feel like, to me, from outside looking in, it seems like it's a lot harder as an actor.
Yeah, and it's harder in this movie because, as I told you before, in another movies, maybe my characters don't talk too much,
Right.
but all the time the other characters talk. Like in
Right.
some ways, like equilibrium in that way. But here, when anybody talks anything, is another kind of understanding, even between actors. Like how you can say like, "Hey, you go away," or something like that, like you need to do some kind with your eyes or your presence and everything. So yes, I think it's harder in many ways, but well, when you are around with talented people, and is easier,
Yeah.
like with this kind of director, and everything is another thing, and yeah, it is what I think about it.
There's a great post you have on your Instagram where I think it's you. It might be Catalina. I can't remember. And John Woo all talking. Like, there's a great
No,
post.
is the photographer, Mr. John, and
Yeah.
Valeria Santa
There it is. Yeah.
Santaella is she's the girlfriend of Playa, and she's a Mexican actress, and she's amazing too. She has this beautiful scene when she's fighting, shooting the her weapon, and she's amazing, and she did amazing job too, and I was pretty happy to work with her, and wow, we spent a very good time doing the movie. So was amazing, and even this set, that set was amazing, like with the tree,
Yeah.
and all the house of Playa was beautiful, the production designer and everybody did an amazing job there, and was amazing to be there, and even I want to say, like, even if I didn't have action scenes, like, but I was when they were doing the battles in the house of Playa. So
Right.
it was amazing to saw all the stone team doing these action scenes with Joel, and was amazing. Was they did a lot of preparation before, and I can see that even when they shooting, and after that when I saw the movie.
Harold, how physical do you get, like in those action scenes or a fight scene? How physical do you get before the stunt team kind of comes in? Like, how much is you? How much is, because whether it's this movie or another movie, how much usually is you, Harold, versus the stunt team coming in and doing their thing?
I try to do most of the times what I can do in the movies. Even in some movie, it's not well. It was a TV series, and even if it was not in the last edition, I was jumping by one car to another car in movement, and then I did a lot of things before, as an actor, doing my own action scenes, and all the time I try to be in contact with the director and with people, with the Stones team, to do as much as I can. Obviously, I try to don't put in risk my physique and my health, but I try to do as much as I can all the time, because I think they they give you some tools doing your character that in another way could be not the same. And here in the fights. I did many of the actions.
Here,
So
did most of the filming take place in Mexico City, or am I wrong with that?
yeah. Most of the things I understand that they do another things in LA,
Right.
but was the movie was shooting in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's awesome. The other thing is, why do you think people love revenge movies so much? Because there's a movie called The Beekeeper. I talked to the director of that, and there's something about revenge movies where people just get wrapped up. They want to hate you. They want to watch the guy who lost his child get this revenge. And what is it about revenge movies that you think draws the moviegoers up? Because I feel like of all the types of movies, right? You look at the popularity of John Wick or whatever, like you
Yeah.
see that people, they want their pound of flesh, they want their revenge, they want people to die and pay for their crimes. What is it about that, Harold, that people love so much?
I think it's like when I remember when I was kid and I saw a lot of movies from Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jackie Chan and
Yeah,
then all that kind of actors, action actors from another times. I loved to see them training, before that they start to fighting against the evil, like the bad
yes,
guys. And I think that part, even in this movie, I love it to see Joel Kinnaman training to try to confront the bad guys, and and I think it's something inside of the human nature. When you see that somebody do a bad thing against another human being, and you can feeling the same emotions, the main character, that you want to that character finds the justice in some way, and I think is that feeling that connect to the public, and in that way everybody loves this movie, because it's something that a connection between the lost and the revenge, and the feeling to try to find justice. I think is the reason. And I want to say another thing about what you asking me before. And I think the most risky things and that I did in this movie is try to don't act just as a bad character, a bad guy. Like I think all the time that I'm gonna go inside of a bad guys, I am thinking about many things about it. But here, for example, I try to don't show just a bad character, like any bad mood all the time. Even he is very friendly with the kids in outside of the market. Sorry, and he's very kindly with his girlfriend. So I try to put another cards inside the table, in the table. And that's is pretty important to me to try to create a more complex character than just to be rude all the time, or try to be a bad guy all the time. And I think with that dialogues, that is harder than with dialogues, like yeah, just to set right now that I was thinking about what you're saying. And I think that was a pretty big challenge to try to do a more complex character.
Harold, that's a great point because, like, sometimes when you see these bad guys on screen, whether they're a henchman or whatever, it's almost like they try too hard. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you. It's like, okay, we've seen the anger. Like, give me something different. Give me something
Yeah.
that so everybody gets it. You're a bad guy, but I love how you say, how you approach it, your process, right? Because I watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies as you do, and it's like you can almost tell when somebody's trying too hard, and it doesn't come off as authentic as it should, right? It's like, okay, but I love your process of how you kind of get into that. That's pretty amazing.
And even in this movie, I think, for example, there's a lot of things that in the way that Mr. Gu shooting the movie, that is like to try to find exactly the point that what actions you need to do or not. Like
Right.
I try to do less in this movie than in other movies, because I think all what happens with the camera and all the things that happen about the edition and everything. It's very important to understand and the way that the movies of Jong-woo happens. You know because I saw the movies from Jong-woo since 2006 when some Mexican director showed me the movies, and that in that times where was pretty difficult to find these movies, and you need to find in DVD
He did
and
Face Off, right? Did John Woo did Face Off, right, Harold? That was one of his classics. Is it Face Off?
yeah,
Maybe.
no,
Yeah.
but before the movies from Asia, from Hong Kong,
Right, because he came back
the
to America. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
that, before because Face Off, I saw the movie in the theater, but before I saw the other movies in well, I try to set like for me when I saw the movies that he does before, he did before was like what is the name, Hard Boiled and the better, well, the other movies that
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
did before, and was like, wow, this is completely different than what I saw before, talking about action movies, and was like, wow, I can't believe it. But in that period of time was not, no, we don't have the same things that we have today in internet, like as you can find right now a lot of movies, and even the streaming and everything is easier, but in that time was not easy. So for me it
Yeah.
was a privilege to have the possibility to see the movies by DVD, and because this director that gave me the movies to see it was a very good opportunity to see another kind of movies, like at the same time I saw Ichi the Killer and another Asian movies that were pretty important. And even I love the Asian movies, like for example, Old Boy is one of
Oh,
my favorite movies in all times. And the movies from Jung-woo were part of my favorite action movies. So when I received the news that I gonna work with him, was like wow,
wow. Bless.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah. I was so happy when I listened that.
Yeah, Harold, people will never know the struggle. I mean, you were born in 91. I graduated high school in 91, so I
No, no,
missed
no,
it.
no, no,
But
no, 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 no. Sorry. That I don't know who put that
yeah, I
on
was
the
on
web,
IMDb. I'm
but
like,
no, no,
Harold Show.
no. No, I was born in 1983.
Oh, okay. Because somebody put 91. I'm like, oh, I mean,
Yeah,
you're a young guy, so I'm like, I believe it. Like,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no so young.
yeah,
No, I don't know. I tried to change that, and I did, but as I don't know how it works, and even somebody helps me to change it, but I
yeah.
don't know why is that, and I changed it 2 times, but it's not possible. I don't know. I don't understand exactly what's about.
Gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. But it's amazing though. I mean, to learn from a guy like that, and people, Harold, will never know the struggle of how hard it was to get a movie like you really wanted to see, early 2000s, late 90s. Like it was hard. Like now you're right. You could go on the internet, you could type something up. Sometimes YouTube has these movies for free. Some of these movies, right? So like between all the streaming services, everything is a finger touch away. Everything's a click away. But when we were growing up, like it was a lot harder. I mean, if it wasn't at the video store or if somebody didn't know
Yeah.
how to get it, forget about it. Like you were never going to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think well, that part of the movies, I love it. Like I remember pretty well when I went to the DVD store, and to rent a DVD, and the movies that you want to see more than once. Like when you need to return the movie and everything, had another kind of moving into your life, like because I had VHS cassettes and beta cassettes from the movies that I saw before, and I have
Yeah.
a little collection, because at that time it was not easy for me to get movies. But after that I have DVD movies, and there's something about, even in the music and the movies, to have your own movie, and that put me to think pretty much about what's going to happen with these movies, well, the movies that we do today. Because before you have the chance that somebody have your movie in DVD, and right
Mm.
now it's like if the streaming company decide to take out the movie from the streaming, is what's going to happen with your movie, like
Or
what's
edit,
gonna
or like edit it. Like if I have a hard copy of a DVD, no one's gonna touch it. It's mine.
yeah,
But if I buy it on iTunes and somebody says in 10 years, you know what, I don't like this part, we're gonna do a
yeah,
rework, or to your point, like, it's, yeah, you're right. Like, people could take it down. Like, people think, oh, I bought a movie on iTunes, it lasts forever. No, they could say, you know what? No, we're doing away with it. And sometimes I feel like, Harold, like, we grew up in an age where when you saw the movie you wanted to get, it was like a gift. It was like, oh my God, I get to see Face Off, or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
now it's like there's almost like so much. Like, we watched the movie last night on Hulu. I'm not going to say what it was. I mean, it was okay. It was watchable, but I can't. I'll forget about it in a week. I won't remember it. But like, when we went into the video store, I can remember specific movies, moments, people I saw it with, what I was eating. Like, I don't know, Harold. It's a different time, my friend. Like, I don't know. I sound
yeah.
nostalgic.
And I think, for example, there are some movies that maybe are not important to anybody, but just for you. And
Right.
to have it, like even I don't care. I have a connection with some movies because they're very important ideology, or because in some period of my life I saw that movie, and something helps me to survive, or whatever. Like but even I love some bad movies that anybody knows is a bad movie, but I don't care about it. And for
Harold,
other hand,
tell me not a bad movie. Tell me a movie that may not be so popular that you love.
The Brave, from the movie that directed, but Johnny Depp,
Oh,
with Marlon. The Brave is the name. The Brave,
okay.
with Marlon Brando.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's not easy to find it,
Yes.
like and there's another ones, but even for example, I have just a VHS, a movie from Netherlands, that name is Character, and it's based of a book, but was completely difficult for me to find in a DVD. I just have the VHS, and after that I found in YouTube. I found the movie, but it's in a bad quality. So the good thing is I can see many times in my VHS. And but there are a lot of movies that right now it's not easy to find. Like for example, I saw a beautiful movie. I don't remember the name right now. Path of Glory or something. No, Path. No, no, no. This is from Kubrick. No, it's an Asian movie from. I'm gonna try to find it right now. But it's an Asian movie from a family that's walking to Lhasa, to Tibet, in doing a. I don't know how to say in English, but it's like walking to a sacred place,
Right. Gotcha.
to Tibet, and I
Yeah.
love that movie, and was difficult to me to find in a DVD, and I don't think that movie is important for too much people, but for me it was beautiful, like and I think another movies that are not the best for the audience, but for me were important in that period of time was was
Harold,
was
you nailed it. Like, that's what makes movies so great, right? Because, like, there's movies that, like, people that I love, they hate it. Like, people hate it. Like, but it means a lot. Like, I love a movie called Astronaut Farmer. Everyone shits
Astronaut
on it.
Farmer.
It's with everyone shits on it. It's Billy Bob Thornton is in it. It's so
Okay.
good. Yeah, and people, like, they shit on it, and it's like, it's so good. Like, it's such a motivating, wonderful movie. Like, I think it's got such a special place for me. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And yeah, and I have in my memory another movies that I saw in TV, but I never know who the director was or what the name of the movie was. And I have the images in my mind, but I never found it again. Like
Yeah.
because before it was not the same. Like you just do a click and you find immediately what movie is in your TV. it was before that. So if you arrive late to the TV, you just see a part of the movie, and in some way was not easy to find
Yeah.
the title of the movie or whatever. But well, I think that, for me is important. Most of the times we think about just the successful movies. Most of the times we just think about the great movies, But if we remember, for example, Seven or Fight Club, or no, Seven, no, but Fight Club, or even Pulp Fiction, were not successful at the very beginning.
Right.
Happens more time before they were processed.
Shawshank too bombed at the box
Yeah,
office.
yeah, yeah,
Bombed.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Bombed.
And that's part of the movies that for me as a public, I love to see. Like there are a lot of movies that maybe anybody thinks that is a good movie, but for me, we're like, wow, what these people were doing. It's amazing.
It's for me a good movie is something you can rewatch like all the time, even if it's a popular movie. To me, it's got to have a rewatchability to it, right? Like Oppenheimer is an awesome movie. I
Yeah,
don't know that I would rewatch it a lot. Like it's very it's sometimes it's a slow grind. Like it's like I love it. I don't think I would watch it like two or three more times. Maybe one more time with my wife, maybe or even
yeah, yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon was awesome. I don't know that I want to see that over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's movies that I saw many, 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 many times, and even there are movies that, for example, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Yes,
the Fincher's movie, because I saw the other ones, from Sweden, the originals, the first ones. But something I saw many times, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and even right now without watching, like, and I saw just a scene, and I came completely inside of the way of the movie, and I love it. And sometimes for me as an actor, I try to have, well, it's not that I try to have, but I used music or another kind of books or movies to gonna go inside of the mood of a character, of the characters. So sometimes I listen a lot of music in some way, because I think the music that this character needs is helping me to be in the mood of the character. And but that's happened frequently with me with movies too, like um, I remember pretty well when some I listen about Japanese directors or Asian directors, that one was doing an anime or cartoon, but pretty violent and everything, and the other ones, it was like lovely stories and everything. And the one that used to do this kind of violence movie, listen just beautiful, beautiful, and calm music. And the other one that is doing lovely movies and everything, listen pretty, punk or hard rock, or that kind of things. And in that way, I do many, many times, like I try to do contrast in my brain to gonna go inside of the characters. So sometimes one part of the movie helps me to gonna go inside of the mood that what I want. But watching movies, I those before the process, before gonna go inside of the set, before in the pre-production. I saw movies that help me to gonna go inside, even many times don't have any ties to the movie that I gonna do, but something inside of the characters helps me to find the mood that I wanted to develop in the character.
that's very clever. Harold, two questions left for you. What is something you've seen recently, a movie that has blown you away? Is there anything? Is there a movie? Because I know you've been busy, in your own career, but when you have free time, is there something you've seen, a movie, maybe a show that
I
has
have
blown
a
you away?
pretty bad. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's two animes. The first one is Pluto.
Yep.
and it's from I think it's Japanese, and the other one is I think is the same director, is Monster. There are two Japanese TV series. One is like 8 chapters, and the other one was like I don't know 70 something chapters. But I let me check because I'm pretty bad with the memory, and but let me check what I was watching recently. Um,
Godzilla minus one is a pretty amazing Japanese movie that came out, about Godzilla. Oh my god.
I listened that. I listened that. I wanna
Yeah.
I wanna watch soon. Well, Dogman,
Yes. Okay. I
Dogman
gotcha.
from what is the name of the Luc Besson,
Yep.
the French, and this actor was amazing. Caleb Landry Jones was amazing in this movie. I
Yep.
love it totally. The Society of the Snow,
Yep.
the Spanian Uruguayan movie,
Right.
and was amazing. And the Delinquents from Argentina, I love it totally. It's a movie from the last year
Yep.
and was beautiful. And I saw recently Aki Kaurismäki movies, and I
Hmm.
was in love with these movies. It was amazing, like I saw Foreign Leaves, I saw Tavern Man, The Man Without a Past, and Ariel, and was beautiful. And I think that's one of the movies that I saw frequently. No, recently,
Yep.
but yes, was pretty good ones.
You have a very unique taste in movies, and I like that. It's like those, again, we talk about movies that mean a lot to you, that you find meaning in, and I think that's awesome. The last time we spoke, 000 had just come out, right? There was a lot of hype. Do people give you a lot of compliments about that? Because to me, it's easily one of the best shows of the last 5, 6, 10 years, whatever. I mean, it's just, when people ask me for shows, it's one of the first ones out of my mouth. Did you find that the aftermath of that, people were very complimentary? They loved your performance, either from other actors or fans. Like,
Yeah. I receive a lot of commentaries about my work in 000. People asking me about a second season, and many other things, and some actors, some directors, some people in the industry send me messages, and some people talk about my work, and I have chats with directors and everything, and was amazing what I've received because of 000 and this character. And yes, it's pretty weird because, for example, in Mexico, people didn't watch the TV show, but I received a lot of messages from Russia, from China, from India, from USA,
wow.
from other parts of the world, and what's amazing. And I'm pretty happy that the opportunity to be in that movie. And even I received a lot of opportunities after I did that TV show. So for me, it's pretty important in my career to be part of 000. And and yes, I received many good things, and about my job in there. Sometimes even was just amazing to listen. Some people that I respect pretty much said good things about my work.
Yeah, Harold, we talked earlier about movies or shows that you remember, some you watch and you forget about. I still think about and I think I saw it, what, 4 or 5 years ago now. Like, I feel, it came out, if my timelines, I mean, I think about this show, your character's performance, all the time. Like, that is I will never forget that character as long as I live. Like, I wish there was more of those shows like that. I wish there was shows that stuck with me more. And there's not a lot anymore. Do you sometimes think there's too much out there, Harold, for content? We talk about movies and stuff that means a lot to us, and we kind of talked a little about this before, but I almost think like there's too much out there. There's too much stuff out there that We
Yeah, but
can't.
I think it's part of is yeah, yeah, we live in a globalization world that before I remember that we just have, you know, like three shows at the same time, you know, like, and you decide and you everybody's trying to watch the same thing in some point. But right now this too much what we have, because you need, the only thing that you need to do is a click.
Yes.
So the problem is right now is the, well, I'm pretty interested about what's happening right now about the internet, the social media, and everything. And I'm not pretty happy about how is the proximity as a human being in this not real world. You know, like. No, I think at the same time we had a lot of information. We are not informed in the real way, because all the time is a lot of things that you need to check about to receive the real information. Talking about, for example, news, but
Right.
talking about TV series and movies is like there's like a 10 from in this month from this streaming company, and another 10 from another streaming company, and everything. And so it's so difficult as an audience to know exactly what you gonna watch. And even for example, the algorithm from every company is even harder. Is completely different what my wife had in her streaming company, that
Right.
what I received as recommendation, because I saw another kind of things, I received another kind of things. But but I think we feel like we are free, but at the end is algorithm that told you what you need to watch. And even when you see all the recommendations, the top 10 and everything, I never had any ties to that kind of movies with that kind of TV series. I'm pretty far away from what the 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 most of the people wanted to see. So for me, it's pretty interesting, because, for example, what happens with 000, and anybody saw it in Mexico. Well, somebody saw it, but not in the same way that in another streaming company, because in that period in Mexico was not working in the same way. The streaming company where was showed was when was where was 000. But yes, I think it's a lot. And every time I received movies and TV series from to vote, from the Mexican Academy, or from another awards, Latin American awards, and even for film independent, but there is a lot of job to do that, like you need to watch a lot of things. And uh, and uh, and and, and sometimes it's too much,
Yeah,
like.
and we lose. You bring up such a great point. Like sometimes I think there's too much out there and it's not all that great. But the way I look at it, just from listening to you talk, is like I feel like okay, so the Academy Award nominations just came out, and some of those are good movies. Some are very, very overrated,
Yeah,
not very good at all. And
completely.
and the narrative is okay. These are the greatest movies, and then you watch shows. These are the greatest shows, but we're missing so much because what the internet wants you to see, and there's so much out there right now that is not talked about, not super public. That is some really good TV and some really, really good movies, Harold.
Yeah, yeah, and the problem is, for example, the kind of movies. But it's like to came back to the conversation that we did at the beginning of this on this talking. It's like sometimes the shows that where I work doesn't have the same money to publicity, and
Right.
what's happening right now about, for example, the Barbie complaints about not nominations, and many another things. Is like well, it's interesting what's happening about questioning what is the best nominated or not. But there are a lot of movies that never had the chance to be in the talking, like
Right.
there are a lot of movies that are never gonna have the possibility to be there. So in I think in the Oscars you need to have a lot of money
Yes.
to be in the talking. Like it's not easy. It's not easy to like you being in an independent movie and to gonna go directly for example, remember talking about, for example, the name of Andrea Riseborough that works. I worked with her in 000, but the movie To Leslie last year, she received the support of many actors in the way that she received the nomination of the last year. But before that happens, is nobody talking about the movie, like so you need to have this support, or you need to have money to people talks about it. And the work that she does in that movie is amazing, but nobody talks before of that movie, um, and was pretty near to the nomination time. So he's talking about that is notorious, that you need to be you need many things, political
Yeah.
things. You need money, you need to many things that this part of this industry, I think.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. And this will be the last thing I say. Thank you for all this time, by the way, Harold. Very kind of you for this time.
No,
One of the
thank
things,
you.
one of the things that there's a movie that came out. It's called The Book of Clarence. Right. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen the trailer 7 times because I'm at the theater a lot, and I've seen this trailer 7 times, and I have no idea what it's about. And I looked into it. They put in $20 million in advertising for this movie. They're going to take a bet. I mean,
Wow.
the movie might be great, and I'm not trying to shit on the movie. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
Well, but just from an advertising, they put 20 million into it, and I've seen this trailer 7 times. And I got to tell you, Harold, I have no idea what the movie's about. I can't tell if it's a comedy, if it's serious, if it patterns. I don't know what the hell it's about. Like I don't know how that money was spent, but I don't know their narrative of. I feel like too many people have a hand in what other people watch. Like I don't know. I just feel like I wish there was a way of people seeing like some of the movies you're talking about. Some of them I've never heard of, right? But they're probably phenomenal. Like I want to like I'm gonna when I edit this, I'm gonna look at some of those movies you were talking about. Like that's what to me that's what being a movie fan is about. It's not watching what Oppenheimer or Maestro or whatever. It's kind of looking at the ones those hidden gems because those are the ones you're never gonna forget.
Completely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for me, all the time when I saw the nominations, for example, I never agree with the nominations, even in the Mexican Academy, or in the US, in the Hollywood Academy. But all the time is like, why this movie had a lot of nominations? Because at the same time, there are a lot of movies that for me are better,
A
or the
lot better
acting,
than
or
that.
the
Yeah. So what are we saying here? Like, there's so many great movies that were ignored. Like I saw
completely.
Godzilla minus one. That movie gets one nomination. The Iron Claw, the movie about the Von Erich wrestling family, gets no nominations. Like, I mean, so I don't know. You're right. There's a lot of political stuff behind the scenes. There's movie companies that pay for things that they probably shouldn't be paying
Yeah.
for. So, anyways, but I don't know. I love the Academy Awards, but I feel like it's become something, and maybe it's always been like this, and I just haven't seen it. But I don't know. I just feel like I hope people look past the academies and know that there's a lot of great movies. Like if I had to make a top 5 movie list, I think maybe one or two of the best movies I've seen were nominated. I think there's a lot that people haven't seen that are really good, Harold.
Yeah, and this is part of the industry, like most of the time these movies had a lot of money to the publicity and everything. And I think it's pretty difficult from some kind of actors to be part of this show and maintain between the years without be part of this industry with like blockbusters and everything, blockbusters and everything. But it's curious because in that way I can tell you, like, I respect pretty much the actors that works, and most of the times in movies that doesn't matter if they have a lot of money or not to do these projects. And there are a lot of great actors trying to do good movies and good characters, um, in the way more important than to being part of the like the big streaming movies that happens today.
Yeah. This will be the last thing I say. So you got me thinking about. Have you seen Breaking Bad? It came out a couple of years back. With Bryan Cranston. Did you ever see that? The Breaking Bad. The big time show. You would have been great on that show, by the way. And then they had a spinoff. They had a spinoff called Better Call Saul,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is maybe in its time. I think it's 5 or 6 seasons. Maybe one of the top 5 shows in the last 5-10 years. And it was nominated for 52 Emmys and didn't win a single one over that time span. Like, I'm
And the actor
sorry,
was amazing. The actor was amazing.
Rhea was amazing. There was Jonathan Banks was amazing. Like Rhea Seehorn should have had at least one, maybe two Emmy wins, but nobody wins an award on the one of the best shows with all the streaming networks. That's insane. That's almost like something personal happened there. Like somebody has a grudge. Somebody's trying to get somebody, because I'm looking at shows nominated that I've never even heard of. Like, I've never seen this person. I don't know what this show is about. And Better Call Saul is the greatest show on TV for 6 years and no wins. Like, that is, to me, Harold, it's kind of gross. Like, it's kind of disgusting, because whatever the grudge is, there's a lot of great people that went into making that show, and Rhea Seehorn and some great actors were snubbed unfairly.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Harold, last thing, what is going on in your life? What is around the corner for you? What projects can you talk about? What social media do you want to throw out there? Anything? I'll leave the floor to you, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. The next movie I gonna is the premiere in February. It's a Mexican movie. It's a thriller. The name is Disappear Completely, and that's gonna happen pretty soon. The premiere, and this is a thriller, but at the same time, it's a horror movie, and I think it's a good one. And I don't remember right now what else gonna happen. Well, I finished a movie in Santo Domingo and Mexico a week ago, and well, I am trying to maintain in this business, my friend. And yeah, sorry, I don't right now. I forget everything.
Well, you're doing more than maintaining, Harold. You're doing a hell of a job. Is the person who lives in Mexico that goes to movies, is it a different type of culture than say somebody who's living in the United States and goes to movies? Do they look for the same type of movies? Are movies like, is there a certain like cultural thing with people who live in Mexico? Do they look for something different? Like, is there a type of movie, or is it kind of movie fans regardless of where you live?
Well. The reality is, like, I am traveling pretty much in these last years, and I wasn't in Mexico City all the time. But I think the culture, yeah, talking about cultural, the way I confront my reality as a Mexican is different.
Right.
Is because is that the reason that why I didn't accept to work in a bad characters frequently, like just sometimes, the bad guy before this the Silent Night was of the 000, but because the kind of movies that we did in Mexico have a lot of social things inside of the movies that is very important to me as an actor, but not just a Mexican actor. I am thinking about the movies that we do in all Latin America, and had another ties to the society, because we are not the same industry that you had in United States. And even I was in Canada and USA in the last years. I went frequently to there, and I can see another way to gonna go inside of the industry. It's completely different, the way that works in there than the way that works in Mexico or in another country in Latin America. So yeah, it's completely different, the way that you're gonna go inside of the movie industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, you're one of my favorite storytellers out there, man. You are awesome, and thank you again. Hopefully you come back on again in 3 years and we can talk about your marvelous career. And Harold, thank you for all this time, and thank you for your kindness over the years too.
Thank you, Derek. No, thank you very much for invited me again, and I'm pretty happy to talk with you. And I hope we're gonna talk in 3 years, and we're gonna have a lot of conversation again to talk. And thank you very much. And I saw your podcast, and well, it's amazing to listen to your work, my friend. Too.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Harold.